Microdramas generated by AI are becoming a huge hit all over the world, and they're actually kind of fun and even more fun to create. TikTok has tested a new microdrama feed, most of which is all created with AI, and many creators are turning to create microdramas in the wake of this attention. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use Venice in the Venice Studio to create your own microdrama series. We'll start by creating a treatment and a script for episode 1, then we'll generate our character references, and then we'll generate our video files and stitch them together into episode 1. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to want to do is start a new chat and prompt it. Let's create a treatment for a microdrama series and the script and shot list for episode 1. And here we just want to feed it some ideas. Now, we are going to use Seedance 2.0 to generate this microdrama, which means we cannot use human face references unless it's highly animated and stylized. So let's create an anime style drama. We want anime aesthetic, a handsome man and a beautiful woman as the protagonists, and a dirty secret. Set in, let's get weird here, huh? Let's set this in Colombia, in a coffee finca, with the vibe of a Latam telenovela. Now, that's one thing important about the genre, is it's a microdrama here. It's a drama, so it needs to be like a soap opera. We want to really create an extreme feeling here, because that is what people like to watch. And now here we go, we've got our little treatment. Our model GLM 5.1 here took some creative liberty, which is exactly what I wanted. Two protagonists, Isabella and Mateo. Oh, and it looks like the series is going to be called Café y Pecado, Coffee and Sin. We have an aesthetic here, high contrast neon noir meets lush greenery. 2-minute episodes maximum. And the dirty secret is 1 year ago, her abusive husband mysteriously vanished. But it sounds like our main characters actually killed him. So this is a classic soap opera story here, and we're now going to package it up into anime style, AI generated microdrama. So here we have our script and the shot list. But first we're going to need character reference image prompts for each character and scene. So we need these prompts because we're going to generate images of what our characters look like so we can make sure we like that before we start creating the video. Otherwise, we're just generating blind and we're not going to be able to keep consistency between the characters through each new generated shot. So here we have our character reference prompts. I'm going to copy each of these one at a time, and I'm going to head over to the Venice Studio here. And here in the Venice Studio, I can paste that prompt and generate the image. Now, we want 9:16 aspect ratio because we are going to make a vertical video here. And I'm going to use Nano Banana 2, which is a state-of-the-art, just the best model out there right now. That does cost a little money. So this image is going to cost us 10 cents, 10 credits on Venice. If you don't want to spend money, you can use your Venice Pro membership and you can use any of these free image generation models, though your quality will vary. So I'll shoot that off. And as that's generating, I'll go back to my chat and copy our male character generation prompt, head back to the studio, and right here, paste that in. And we can see that while we were over there, we got our Isabella anime Latina character generated. Great. And now we have Mateo, the groundskeeper. And if we come back to our chat, we can see now that we have prompts for each scene. So I'm going to go ahead now and copy all of these for scene 1, head back to the studio, click this video tab where our stage awaits. And you can see I have other video generations here from previous projects. We can ignore those for now, but I'm going to make sure I have Seedance 2.0 R2V reference to video selected here. Once that's selected, I'm going to add our character reference images. So now you can see we have our two protagonists here as image 1 and image 2, which we can now tag in our prompts. So I'm going to paste in all of these shots and I'm going to just fix it up a little bit. Say wide drone shot, anime style, Studio de Ghibli, painted background, sweeping vertical shot of a lush and possibly green coffee plantation. So this is our establishing shot. We'll say close-up of image 1's calloused, rugged hands. Now, why do we want to tag image 1? Well, look, he's got a tattoo there. So we want to make sure that we see the bits of the tattoo for character consistency. Then we'll say cut to medium shot of the handsome, rugged groundskeeper, image 1, wearing a straw hat, looking down at his hands. Now, one thing you're going to see in a minute, but I'm just going to show you now in case you're following along and generating videos, is we want to say no music, only sound effects in all of these generations. And the reason for that is because later we're going to stitch these all together and make a new soundtrack. And if it already has music, it's going to be a choppy cut. We don't want that, but we do want the sound effects. So we make sure we shoot off our prompts with this rule at the bottom. Now, we have 3 shots here in one. And fortunately, Seedance 2.0 is capable of doing all of those shots in a single generation. So now what I need to do is click the settings icon and make sure we give enough space for all of that to happen. So I'm going to choose 12 seconds here. So in 12 seconds, we expect to see all 3 of these cuts. Now, is it going to be perfect? Maybe, maybe not. This is AI still. It doesn't get everything perfect every time, but we should see the SUV crawling up the dirt road in this wide drone shot. Then we should be seeing a close-up of his hands and then a medium shot of him looking down at his hands with a shadow over his face. So now we'll shoot that off. And now it's queued up, it's processing. So what's cool about the Venice Studio is while that's going, we can go ahead and return to our treatment chat and then get the next few prompts here. Now, we have 7 shots here. I think we're only going to try to go with the first 3 for our next shot. We'll split these up into 2 different generations. I'll head back to the studio. That's still generating over there. And I'm going to paste in our prompt. I'll clean it up again. Beautiful Latina woman. We need to tag now image 2. Image 2 is our Latina woman stepping out of an SUV. Then we're going to cut to an extreme close-up. We'll reference her again. The designer high heel of image 2 steps onto the rustic cobblestone. So now we have 3 shots that we should see in a single generation here. I'll go with 15 seconds this time. We want to make sure we're in 9:16 aspect ratio, and I'll shoot that off. Now, you'll notice I forgot to do 9:16 for this one. I'm going to have to reprompt this. Got our telenovela music already. And I think we need a little more time here anyway. So with this video, I can click the ... and I can reload the source. And that will put everything back here, our prompt, back into the text box. So let's fix the aspect ratio, 9:16, and let's give it 15 seconds. And truthfully, we don't actually need Isabella here yet. And it might have confused the model because it's not in any of these prompts. So let's just remove her here to make sure we only see image 1, Mateo, and the visual of the truck and the coffee finca. So now we have 2 shots generating in the right resolution this time. Let's head back to our chat to get the rest of scene 2. I'm going to return Isabella to our references and adding in our reference image tags. I'll do 15 seconds again, vertical aspect ratio, and we'll send that off for the rest of scene 2. And while that generates, let's take a look at what we got earlier for our second shot. See how we got our cuts here. Extreme close-up. Great. A little bit choppy. Passionate. Now, once again, see that? We see the tattoo in his wrist, so that is character consistency. Now, this was a good shot too. I don't know if I like the car like that, but either way, I'm going to regenerate it, and I'll tell you why. And that's because we don't want music. And the reason I'm showing you this now and we didn't do it before is because we want the sound effects, but later on when we stitch these together, we're going to add music ourselves. And see how the music kind of starts jumping in here? The problem is that is going to conflict with a smooth edit later. So we'll take that shot, we'll reload the source, and at the very end, we'll say no music, only sound effects. So now we have that second shot again with no music. We get the sound effects. And we got our extreme close-up there at the end. Now we get this shot again with no music. I actually like this shot way more anyway. Ooh. So now I'm going to go ahead and generate the rest of the scene shots, and then we'll continue with stitching them all together and creating a musical score. Okay, so aside from one more shot I'm trying to clean up, we are ready to edit. So now I'm going to click over to this movie editor tab. And this is what's cool about the Venice workspace is we can do it all right here in the same place. We don't have to move over to different software. And if you've never edited before, this is a good skill to have and just get better at. And it's okay if you're not very good at it in the beginning, because with each project you will improve. And here all we do is we can see all our generated videos, and we're just going to find the clips and we're going to insert them one by one. But before that, you can see here that our vertical clips are showing up in a horizontal window here. So we need to change the aspect ratio to TikTok, 9:16, and now they will fit cleanly. I'll zoom out a bit so we can see it better. Click the media tab. So our first shot was that one. Then we have the shot of Isabella leaving the car. And then I had a lot of different generations of the two staring at each other. And I think I like this one the most. Yeah. So now we have our shots all sequenced in. And now is when we're going to need to get creative to make sure this all flows coherently. So let's watch it piece by piece. Now, I don't really like that, for example. So what I'll do is I'll just make some quick cuts here, and actually it still transitions smoothly. Easy. Now we'll fix that alignment there. Now, that shot's a little long here, but we can use that as a transition. So what I'll do is I'll go to animation, and I'll click out, and we'll make sure it just fades out here, and we'll make sure it takes about, I don't know, 1.5 seconds. So here, it fades out. And then it'll cut. We'll even give it a little second there. And remember, we're going to add music later. The music's going to get more intense there. Now, we're going to need a transition here. So I'll click over here to transitions, and let's maybe a nice blur here. We'll drag it right there, and let's see if that was good. And that's a little bit mysterious here for our story. Now, this shot didn't get long enough, so I actually did regenerate that. So I'm just going to need to cut the end of that one, cut to the version I like more, cut the beginning of that, so the action starts at the beginning. Great. We'll fade this out, the audio at the end, so it's a bit smoother, as well as fade out the color. We'll give that a half a second or so. Okay, so we have our clip, and next it's time to make our score. So we'll come back to the standard Venice Chat window, and I'll click this plus, and I'll click Generate Audio. You'll see this brings us into the audio tab of the Venice Studio. I recommend doing this in a second tab away from your video editing tab, just so it's easier to go back and forth, because now we want to time where we need the moods of the musical score to change. So for example here, 14 seconds or so, our little intro clip is over. And then from 14 seconds to 45 seconds, we have our little mysterious drama. And then from 45 basically till the end, we have our cliffhanger where he touches the ground and then we see the lightning. So here's what we're going to do here. We're going to say, create a cinematic soundtrack for a 61-second microdrama. The first 14 seconds are exposition, calm. After that 14 seconds, Then it's going to build up as she exits the car. Basically, at 42 seconds, we need something really sharp and tense to come in because this is where he grabs her hand. Then we'll say from 14 to 42, this is a build-up between the love interests and their mysterious dynamic. At 42 seconds, there is a sudden drama, an intense hit or sting, for example. And then from 45 seconds onwards, we get to the mysterious cliffhanger stuff. Now, this is a very basic way of creating a soundtrack. And when we use the 11 Labs music model, it actually does a very good job of this. We want to make sure in the settings we force instrumental so there are no vocals. I'm going to choose orchestra for the music, and I'm going to make sure it's about, 104 or so. So it has a couple seconds to fade out at the end. This is going to be the first way to generate the music. Another method would be to go back to our original chat here. And we'll say the video turned out to be 1 minute and 1 second. The first 14 seconds is scene 1. Scene 2 ends at 42 seconds, and scene 3 starts at 44 or so. Create a prompt for the soundtrack that accentuates the action and drama unfolding on screen. So when we take this to the original conversation, the AI already has an idea of, it already knows, it generated those prompts for us. So it knows what this music should be like. It knows the scene. It knows the series. So now it's going to give us a much more detailed prompt. And so we're going to feed that into the same audio generation tab. We'll compare the two after we generate both of them. 108. So now we have both of these in our media assets. So let's come back here. Let's click media. Let's select audio. And we have our two tracks here. So let's put the first one here and let's watch it. Pretty good timing, huh? Okay. So that was the audio with the prompt generated by the AI. Let's give a listen now to my manual prompt. Good work. But I think that first one blows it out of the water, truth be told. So we'll put that in there. And at the end here, let's put a little title, click text, and let's say Café y Pecado. We'll give it a little fade out. And I don't know what happened to this transition here. Let's make sure it's working. Now, We could make this a little better. I mean, we could make all of this a little better, obviously. There's a little glitch cut here. And truth be told, I could spend all day doing this, but I'm really just trying to show you how to get started using Venice to create a mini drama. But we could tune this up a little better, like right here. Like, we could put that transition a little earlier, like right there. Ready? See, that feels a little better to me. I mean, we could even do a little more. Very, very suspenseful here. What happened? Oh, perfect timing, huh? Like how we come back to that pulsing sound. Teaser, right? So there we go. That's the beginning of our microdrama. And the next step would just be to generate the next episodes using the same conversation. Obviously, you can put as much human creativity and brain power as you want into these. But as we can see, the conversations in the beginning are going to help us get really detailed shots right out the gate. And if we're not really sure what we want to create yet, it can also help us come up with the full treatment and the characters and everything going on. So there you have it, microdramas with Venice. Check out the venice.ai platform today. You have so much opportunity here, so many models ranging from open source and private to anonymized and state-of-the-art. The top frontier models for text, image, and video. Venice is truly a powerful tool, and I invite you to check it out. Bring your creativity to get started. Don't forget to check out the Venice Discord to share what you're working on, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more AI tutorials.